So guys, I'm in the Richmond River in Ballina here, and today's episode is going to be a very special episode to me personally because I'm getting to introduce you to an old friend of mine who's no longer with us through his lovely boat. I get to tell you the story about how I got to know my mate Bill, and we're doing a walk through Bill's boat today with the new owner Frank, who's been a long-term friend of Bill's as well. So kind of the whole reason I'm on this sailing trip started really because of Bill. I'd always wanted to sail on my own sailing boat, but when I was about a 21, 22-year-old, I met Bill who, had been starting to build his boat in his backyard. And I was cycling past and dropped in and said, "Can I check out your boat?" And that's how I got to be friends with Bill. Rosetta is a 30-foot strip-built cedar boat, fiberglass inside and out, and she's a very beautiful boat. Bill died tragically a year ago from a brain tumour. It was way too soon for a beautiful man who had a lot of empathy for everybody else, and just an incredible aesthetic and approach to design and building. And you could see in this boat the quality and workmanship is second to none. So it was a real jolt to me to realise, as I've heard of Bill's diagnosis, don't put off sailing until the time is right, because you never know when your number's up. Bill was only 58 when he got diagnosed. So we're going to meet Frank. He's the new owner. Frank is a lovely fella. He's graciously allowing us to go through the boat and have a bit of a look-see and hear the story of how Frank got to be in possession of Rosetta. And Frank is really the perfect custodian for caring for Rosetta now. We spoke briefly yesterday about how Frank sees or feels Bill every time he's on Rosetta. So she's a very special craft and built by a very special man, and now I'm going to take you through for a bit of a tour. So everybody, our viewers, I'd like you to meet Frank.
Hi.
And thanks for having us on board today, Frank.
No worries, Jesse. I forgot when it flooded, I actually had a couple of portholes open.
Oh no, in the big flood.
Oh yes.
That's another whole
story. So the bilge pumps work.
Yes.
That's what I can say.
Yes.
And the fridge was full of water, and everything here was full of bottom was full of water. All the drawers.
Where was the water level up to?
Well, the bilges.
The bilge.
Yeah. So the bilge got rid of what was,
good.
The excess.
Yeah, but the water was coming in through there.
Yeah, coming through. I think I left these ones. Well, I actually could have sworn that I'd locked them. Beautiful fresh water, clean water.
Yeah, but salt, eh?
So anyway, it's hopefully a lesson learned.
Yeah,
I'm a slow learner.
Well, there's no race.
Yeah.
And so the boat survived that massive flood in Ballina, which took out a lot of.
The boat went about 100 metres that way.
Yep.
It ended up, about 100 or 150 metres down the creek.
Yep.
And the boat that was behind me took the next 4 boats, and they all went off down to the jetty where we were, where you picked me up. Half a nautical mile down the creek. I had quite a lot of debris wedged under between the keel and the tiller. So we survived, but only sort of just. It could have been a lot worse. Yeah. But there was a lot of water in the creek. Yes, it was very, very powerful and very full.
Mm. And so you've owned the boat about a year now?
Yeah, just over a year. So it was July last year, so nearly 18 months now.
Yeah.
So Bill was very sick, and he offered me the boat about 6 months prior. Eventually I decided to dive into the brand new world of boat owning. So Bill introduced me to sailing, and now I'm the skipper.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah. Well, it went to the perfect home. You're the best custodian for Bill's boat, I think. Getting to know Frank, it became immediately clear that Rosetta had landed in great hands.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of, in some ways, it was a natural transition, and I spoke to his daughters and his family about it, and they were quite happy. In fact, they were very happy for me to take it over.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the caretaker of the boat. It's Bill's boat. He built it. He spent 13 years building it and 5 years sailing it. And every time I look around the boat, I see him. And whenever I do stupid things, I always think, well, what would Bill do and what would he be saying?
Yeah.
And so he's still my mentor.
Yeah, that's right.
And
here.
and it's been fantastic for me. It's been a really wonderful. It is a wonderful journey, ongoing journey.
Of course,
So,
yeah. And that says it all. Check out the woodwork and detail, hey?
Isn't it great?
It's just
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
Well, just about everyone who's come on board for the first time since I've owned the boat has said, "Oh, this is a really great looking boat."
Yeah, it strikes me every time I get in here.
Yeah.
Like it's that clear finish all the way through.
It's great, yeah. And I mean, I haven't been on too many other boats, but I'm now learning to appreciate the workmanship.
Yeah, no, look, it's a real standout. Like you could take this thing to a wooden boat show. Because Bill and I went to the wooden boat show.
Oh, you went to the one in Hobart?
Yeah.
Remember when we went down there?
2019, I think it was.
Yep, that sounds
2018.
right. Yeah.
18, 19. And like Bill had half joked about sailing Rosetta down for it. And when we were there checking out all these other boats, he said, "Oh yeah, I really should have brought it down."
Should have done it, yeah.
Because his owner built it, like everything's thought through, isn't it?
Yeah. To a really fine detail.
Yeah, lots of thinking went into this.
Yeah. I think he did a lot of pondering over just all the small things and.
Being an architect, like yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what you do. It's you're sort of trained to do that.
Yes.
That's the architectural mind at work.
Yep.
And also, he was a builder too, so he had an understanding of how things went together.
Yep.
And how to finish things off. And this is kind of the way he used to do his buildings, his houses.
Had that practical side.
Yeah. So he just sort of slid that into the boat building.
Yeah. So what's the highlight for you? What's your favourite sort of feature of this boat?
I just love being on it. I just love being here. Yeah, just whenever I step on board, my heart kind of feels lighter.
Yeah. I know that feeling.
So that's it, I suppose.
This bank cabin, I don't even know I've slept in here.
Oh, sorry, it's a bit messy.
Just not messy at all.
Sheets done. And
she's just beautiful. It's actually so roomy for a half berth.
That's what. There was a couple of guys came on board just the other day, and they all said, "Yeah, it's so roomy for such a small boat."
It's the B berth. That beautiful cabinetry.
Yeah, I feel like a bit of an imposter in a way because I feel like I'm just the beneficiary of all this hard work that's gone on before me.
Oh, I mean, same with every boat.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same on my boat.
Well, I suppose, so someone's built your boat too.
Yeah, and the previous owners did so much work to it, improvements, and I'm benefiting from those improvements, and I feel like, they should be the ones benefiting. Yeah, I love this feature, how this comes up, and there's a secret compartment in there for food.
Yeah, in the other side, lots of tinned vegetables.
Yeah. Emergency rations.
Yeah.
Now, ain't that sneaky? You do. Have you made any other sort of personalisations to the boat that?
Not really. No, I haven't changed very much. No. So the main sheet it's way too long.
Okay.
So
the rope.
Yeah. So I've that's a minor thing really.
You shortened it.
Yeah. Shortened it. So
yeah.
But look, no, I've been doing a few repairs, but no, I haven't really personalised things too much at this stage. It's sort of, I'm trying to be respectful, but there's a point where it becomes my boat and I've got to actually take it over and make it mine. So that's kind of gradually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whenever other people come on board and make suggestions, say, one guy said the other day, your cleats are too small. You need to be able to get the big mooring rope on your cleats and it's too small.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I'll take that on board. That's a good suggestion. But, the boat's been fine. It's been through a flood, dragged all the way down the creek, dragged a couple of mooring blocks down the creek without any problems.
Yeah.
The cleats didn't come off.
Is that a test?
That's a pretty good test.
I don't know what else is. Yeah.
So I'm thinking, probably just leave them as they are.
It's good to listen to people's advice, but it is only their opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Bill told me how he does things, and a lot of that's evident in the boat, and I respect it. But he wasn't always right. I wouldn't say he was 100% right. So very minor things really.
Well, he was learning too.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Frank, you've known Bill for a long time. How did you guys first meet?
So I have lived in Byron Bay for nearly 30 years, and I'm an architect and Bill's an architect, so there's the connection. And then we sort of connected socially. We used to hang out at the Rails in Byron Bay on Friday nights. We used to have Friday night drinks after work. And we had sort of mutual friends, and then we started camping together, and then we just became friends over that time. And then after that, Bill told me about building this boat in his shed. When we went down to his house for a party or whatever, he'd say, "Oh, come out and have a look at the boat." And we'd all go out to the shed. "Oh, that's really great, Bill." And we'd be sitting in the shell, or seeing whatever was going on. And it was all a bit abstract at that time.
Yes.
And over the years, he persevered. We just became closer and closer friends. And then I was here on the day of the launch, just down the road, down the creek.
Yep.
And that was a great day. It was a really wonderful day, and his family were all there, and some of his friends, and then he asked me to go sailing, and I was right there. I said, "Yep, I'll do that."
Yeah.
So we sort of kept that connection going there through the sailing. We did some wonderful trips, and I really enjoyed his company. Yeah, so I've known him for about 25 years.
Yeah, wow. And you're right, he's just such an easygoing character. He was a pleasure to be around because you could relax around Bill. He was himself, and he wasn't pretentious, and
exactly.
He said it how he saw it. So,
yeah. He had a very gentle way.
Yes.
He was very easy on other people. He wasn't critical of other people.
Yeah.
And he loved his family, loved his friends, he loved life. That's a nice person to be around. Why not?
Yeah.
I really miss him.
So do I, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think of him quite a lot.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
If I had my wish, it would be for us to sail together. That was always what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I talked to him before I bought Rosetta off him, just before he passed.
Yep.
I actually went up to visit my mum in Townsville.
Yep.
And I used to live on Magnetic Island, and I went over to Maggie Island one day, and I was over at Horseshoe Bay, and I saw all the boats there, and I thought, it'd be great to get Rosetta up here, and I thought, maybe you'll never get up here, and I thought, well, maybe I should buy a boat up here, and we can come up to Townsville and sail together, and then we can both go back down to Ballina and sail together on Rosetta. So that was where I said to him, I might want to buy a boat. So that was kind of a bit of a seed there as well, and that may have been the reason why he offered the boat to me.
Yeah. Frank and I talked for hours about our late friend Bill, who always talked about his mate Frank to me, and as it turned out, often mentioned his mate Jess to Frank. I always end up in the editing. In a way, Bill made sure we closed that gap and made the connection we have now. Bye-bye Rosetta.
Bye, Rosetta.
And that's all because of Rosetta, a most wonderful craft that stands testament to the loving, gentle and passionate Bill. I had to get back to all the stars, and Frank had places to be too. Sometimes you meet people in life who will change your life forever, even after they're no longer with us.